What is up, YouTube family?
Hey
Thank y'all for tuning back in with us. Today we are headed into another, hopefully, I mean, it's probably going to be great. I'm just going to say that. But this is the strange case of Venus Stewart. We never heard of her. I don't even know what it is about. But enough for us. Let's find out what it's about.
Stewart Little.
Why are you taking those down? Give them back to me. Give them.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this whole video we're going straight to the top of a list of places I cover stories from, or at least like very close. It's gotta be at this stage. And that's Michigan. Let me ask you something. What would you do for an Xbox? Probably, hand over a couple $100, but in this one, well, a little bit more than that. Some people are mad about it though. You're just so mad about it that when they start, maybe talking a little shite to somebody online, they start talking about something else. Like maybe, just maybe, could you help me out on a little, like, something? Just take a second. Something along those lines anyway. It'll make more sense when I tell you this story. So let's give it a go. So we're going straight to the township of Colon. Colon? Whatever it's called.
Colon Township.
Okay, no, Colon. Alright, well, we'll keep this series. Colon, anyway, it's in the ass end of Michigan. Sorry, just let me have that one. And what can I say, about good old Colon that hasn't been said before? Literally anything. It has a population of about 3,500. Was named Colon because apparently when naming the town, folk pulled out a dictionary and the first thing they saw was a colon. What kind of dictionary did they have? Okay, stop. Me. There are 3 lakes in the area, one called Long, because, well, another called Sturgeon, no idea why, and a turd in Colon called Palmer, and I genuinely have no idea. Okay, I really should stop making fun of the places I talk about. Anyway, okay, let's move on. In Colon Township lived human beings, and some of them went by the surname McComb. Specifically, Therese and Larry. And Therese and Larry had a daughter named Venus. She was the youngest.
So innocent.
And Venus was married to a guy named Doug Stewart. Dougie Stew, I like to call him. Doug and Venus had been married for roughly 8 years in 2010. They married an entire 4 days after their first date. I think it takes more time than that for a Big Mac to move through your Colon Township.
Love is love.
You are not.
When you know, you know.
No, we are not going to do that.
When you know, you know.
4 days? Woman, I don't even know your favorite color after 4 days. 4 days?
You should, because I would have told you.
Nobody's asked those basic questions on dates.
You do.
I don't ask what your favorite color is on dates. That's basics. I get to the nitty gritty. I need to know if I'm going to get stabbed. Especially after yesterday's documentary. You better not be asking what your color is. You got to ask, what is your mind like? Do you plan on stabbing me?
A big surprise to her parents, but hey, not really much you can do about it now, so let's launch it. Doug actually got on really well with Venus's older brother, Dustin. They would go out hunting and fishing, all that jazz together, so that's something. Venus, she worked in a bank. She had a degree in criminal justice. She actually studied that because she wanted to become a cop, funnily enough. She later found out she hated guns, so that put an end to that. Doug had been a Marine, leaving for his wife. Venus, she didn't want her husband, running towards the gunfire. And after leaving the service, Doug went on to work in the fast food industry.
Wow.
After being married for a year, Baba number 1 arrived, followed a couple of years after by numero 2, also a girl. Not long after, Doug packed it in. Venus, she earned more working at a bank, so Daddy Doug became Daddy O-Doug. He'd raise his 2 girls, chill, and he was actually, get a load of this. What are the odds that a guy in his late 20s would be crazy about Xbox?
The days.
He became quite addicted to it, especially Xbox Live, COD,
Killing me! Get the fuck out of my room and play
Call of Duty. He was a little immature, and he wouldn't get off the darn thing. So after time, what happened? Time and time again. happened this time. Doug and Venus would separate. Venus actually wanted to get the heck out of Michigan. She wanted to start fresh, and well, hey, let's give the marriage one more try.
I mean, I'm going off of what he's saying. I know that's probably behind the lines of why they got it, but he was that much of a gamer, it disturbed her that much. Like, you had to move on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It made you ask for a divorce.
Like, it had to be more to it. Like,
yeah, it had to be. There's no way. I mean, it's possible, I guess.
Because I do know there are, like, I have heard some adults, like, they do, like, physically game.
It's an addiction.
Yeah, and you got to spend quality time. Like, you can't just be worried about gaming 24/7.
They eventually moved to a place called Newport News, Virginia. Doug, he went back to work. He was a truck driver.
Okay.
And usually, you know, most people are kind of full of shit when they say, let's start again fresh, but this time it was actually legit. Things were better than ever, until they weren't. Of course not.
Wait, what happened?
After living in Newport News for roughly a year, Doug got some news himself. Venus was up and at him, taking the kids back to Michigan. She actually just left in the middle of the night. Doug tried to call her, nothing.
What?
He actually went to report her missing. Until the police said, yeah, she's been here, and she's gone.
Sounds sketch.
In February 2010, she moved back to Colon Township, to her parents' house. Doug was to stay in Virginia. And that, as they say, was that. Dougie Stew, smell you later. On the 26th of April 2010, Venus and her two daughters were getting up, groggily up, you know, for another Monday morning. Monday again. Therese was already at work, Larry was sawing wood, and Venus was packing lunch for her girls. Larry then began to be, you know, rudely, if you ask me, awoken by Venus's two daughters. They were yelling and shit, they were just playing. So he got up, went downstairs, and was like, where's your mother? He found her purse, he found her keys. He just didn't find her. Her car was still there. The two girls had no idea.
All right, we doing like last episode.
I'm lost.
Look. I know this is a little bit. What do you say? Too obvious, but I'm gonna roll with the obvious on this one. He probably did. I mean, the keys she missing. He probably killed her. Gonna play it off. You know, look.
He was chopping some wood, so he probably chopped her up.
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna roll with it because I'm rolling with it. I'm pretty detective skills. I
don't know. This one's kind of like this one. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's just not. He's not. I don't know.
He walked around the house. He looked through the garden, everywhere, and she was nowhere to be found.
He know where she at.
One thing he did notice, though, was that on the gravel, on the drive, it was all messed up. Like there had been a struggle. Someone was bracing their feet and
dogs could have walked
that sort of stuff. Nobody heard anything, though. She just vanished. Also on the ground was a pink hair tie and the packaging of a blue tarp. But no blue tarp.
Oh.
It was then that Larry called 911.
He planted.
It might be like you said, chopped her up the wood. That's a blue tarp.
No, vehicle is...
He probably chopped her up.
I think so. I think like the gravel's mixed up because he pulled it.
What be making people
like
just
he
come?
pulled it? You
like
know?
I'm not.
Are you listening? When you pull something, you know how it moves like the
Yeah,
rocks
but you know, I think, y'all. I'm just saying.
What?
Speaking. Don't think I got any thoughts like this.
It.
I'm just saying, if I'm planning on getting rid of somebody, like a blue tarp is kind of loud to drag. Like if you're going to call cement, gravel, I'm thinking like maybe go along.
Maybe nobody was right there.
But he's saying nobody heard nothing. You gonna hear? I got a blue tarp in the backyard right now. We can do a test.
The kids were at school probably.
You didn't let me test in the last video of you getting strangled on the ground.
The kids were probably in school at the moment.
Let me wrap you in a blue tarp and pull you and see if it's loud. For the camera's sake.
No. Push play. How does he sound?
Not there? Yeah, your vehicle missing or anything? No, vehicle is here, her kids are here, and she is gone. Okay. Have you tried calling her or anything? Yeah, we can't get hold of her.
His voice is calm.
He's too calm.
The police arrived and started going through the scene. On the packaging, they discovered a fingerprint, but it would take them a while to determine whose it was. And the first thing Larry said to them was, a few days prior to the 26th of April, dun 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 dun, Venus had gained full custody of their children.
Missing missing woman mystery in St. Joseph County continuing at this hour. Venus Stewart disappeared Monday, evidence of a struggle on the scene, but no one has seen her since. We've been on top of Venus Stewart's disappearance for days now, and today, 24-hour News 8's Jessica Leffler was there as police searched for clues.
Now, Doug, of course, he still lived in Virginia, which is a bit of a trek away. So police were calling Doug all day, finally getting through to him that night. And where were you today? He was at Newport News all day. He was a few blocks from his place, and he gave the police a full itinerary of when and where he had been all day, and he never left. They followed up with this, spoke with people at the places he had been, and yeah, he had been in Newport News. Witnesses, CCTV confirmed it. He was seen walking through his apartment building, driving around in his car. He'd popped by his lawyer's office, and they said, yeah, Doug was here.
Dang.
The search then began. It was weird. I mean, numero uno persono was about 11 hours away.
We gotta take away our last case. This ain't the last case, okay? We was a rookie. Remember I said she was a rookie. She couldn't get her story together. She didn't know how to. He might be a little bit more advanced. He got the alibis. He got the camera angles. He knew how to plan this.
I just feel like
new case.
It could have still been him though, because
I'm thinking it is him. He's just a little bit more advanced.
Even if he did all that, there was still time to do what he did.
That's what I'm saying. He
like,
knew how to plan it out.
Been like, oh, I slept till 10. You liar. You slept till 7 and you did the damn crime 3 hours after you woke up that early.
You gotta put everything in play.
Exactly.
I gotta take my mind out.
And then you gotta think, she had full custody. What a coincidence. After she gets full custody, she disappears.
I gotta take my mind out the last case. Because it's a new case now.
That don't make no sense. If you got full custody,
He
why would you disappear?
Guilty. That's why I need to be a detective.
I don't know yet.
I wouldn't even have to take it to trial.
I don't know yet. I don't want to say he's guilty, but he's.
I don't gotta take it to trial. Guilty verdict for me.
Wait.
That's why they shouldn't elect me for nothing. Guilty. I'm elected on this channel.
Apparently, she vanished at a strange time. It looked like she had just gone out to check the mailbox, and then nothing. There were signs of a struggle, but no screams or anything. Just a weird scenario, to be honest.
Again, Douglas Stewart is considered a person of interest in this case. Officers located him in the Virginia town where he lives days after the disappearance and say that his alibi is solid.
I'm not gonna scream if her man at the time is coming towards her. For all you know, he could have, hey man, clack, neck, or weapon, or coming from the back, hey babe, mouth covered. There's so many. She's not gonna scream if he's coming. If
you
he's
scaring me with all these scenarios. I gotta watch my back when I check the mailbox.
I'm just saying.
Because you saying all this.
She's not gonna scream if it's someone that she knows coming towards her, and there's she thinks oh.
I'm gonna make sure. I'm gonna make sure when I check the mailbox, you ain't coming at the clack or bop me in the back of my head. Y'all, if I come up missing, you heard it here first.
Stop.
You're a little bit too good at this.
I'm just saying.
And he also says that he hopes his wife is found safely.
I don't know. I pray for my children every night. I pray for their mother, and I pray for the McComb family that they get some truth on this, and we can figure out where Venus is. And now that the timeline has gone so far, I'm getting very worried and very concerned. I still care about her very much, and to be told that you could be involved in something of this nature it's repulsive.
They started looking at other dangers. A mysterious mustachioed madman on the loose was a possibility.
Okay.
Now police are looking for this man.
Okay, we have another
2 witnesses spotted him at nearby Adams Lake the night before Stewart disappeared. He was wet and approached the witnesses for a cigarette.
I mean, right now with this case, we have so few clues to go on. We're not going to discount anything.
But the possibility they were focusing on was the one we all would be focusing on. The soon-to-be ex-husband. They searched his place in Virginia, they interviewed him, seized his computers, checked his bank account transactions, his truck, they had a go. Nothing. Except for a receipt they found in the backseat. His car was a fucking pigsty. And the receipt was for shovel, gloves, tarp, and a hat. And it was from a Walmart, not in Virginia, but in Ohio.
The tarp right there. The evidence, the tarp, remember?
That's all I need.
The packaging
for the tarp. I'm detective with you telling me I forgot the evidence. The evidence is in my case.
There it is.
Tarp,
there
no, because
OJ
got off. Don't get it twisted.
Wilburn,
just because we got this evidence.
You cannot bring other cases into our other case.
You're right.
You can't.
You're right. But I'm just saying, if the glove don't fit, you can't quit.
How are you going to get rid of everything and have it to
the
that precise moment?
Because they not.
Leaving it to finding a receipt.
They are not professionals.
If I'm walking out the store, you know what I'm doing? Crumbling it up, throwing it in the trash. Because there's always a trash by the door.
You're starting to worry me that you are just thinking about all these scenarios.
Well, I'm just saying, 9 times out of 10, there's a trash can by the door, in front of the door, or so I'm grabbing my stuff, or can you throw this away from me, please?
I'm a little nervous having this.
Because they always ask you, do you want your receipt? And I could have been like, no, thank you.
They don't get you on camera for the transaction on the debit card.
No, but they would have never looked at his debit. No, because they said that they looked at his bank statements and stuff, and they didn't find nothing.
Yeah, if you pay cash.
So it took the receipt.
He must pay cash.
That's what I'm saying. It took the receipt.
He tried to be good.
If he was smart, he would have said, no, thank you, keep the receipt, or threw it out the window, or just threw it anywhere, you know.
He tried to be good.
About 2 hours from Colon Township, but the day before she disappeared. He was still in Newport though. Or was he? I mean, people said that he was there. They saw him. He was there. He'd walked in. The receptionist said, yes, he came in. We talked to him. He paid money. They had, a bank transfer for child custody stuff.
I don't know.
Like he was here. This was such a weird kink.
What if he hired somebody?
That's what I'm saying.
Come on, dog.
He did buy, but he hired somebody.
Yes, you are. Sure.
Sneers and jabs from a riled-up crowd tonight, their anger directed at Doug Stewart, the only person of interest in his wife Venus's disappearance. Stewart in court today for a custody hearing.
And in the meantime, Doug wanted his girls back. He was telling everybody that Venus, she had done a legger. She was off. She had run out of him in Newport News, and now she was off again. Around this time, Venus's dad found her journal. And the marriage was worse than they thought.
Oh.
Tensions mounting as a note left behind by Venus Stewart is discovered in her home. That paper containing disturbing details of abuse.
Her father gave 24-Hour News 8 a copy of handwritten notes detailing allegations of molestation against Doug Stewart, Venus's estranged husband, involving one of their daughters. Those allegations also detailed in a police report from Schoolcraft Police. An investigation launched in February 2010 when one of the Stewart children claimed their father had the child touch him inappropriately.
Wow, this went left.
Quick.
So now it makes sense why she was trying to get full custody, why she left that one day. Remember how she said she picked up and left out overnight? Yeah. That part because that's what she found out.
Mm-hmm. But what made her come back though? Unless she couldn't afford, like she didn't have work or something out there and had to come back home because she came back home with her mom and dad, like they said. She came back home with her parents, so maybe work or something. She didn't have.
I think she was gonna divorce him, or threaten him and said I don't want to be with you, or I know what you did, or something like that. And I think he got scared.
Dang.
This just took a hard left.
Oh my God. Children involved, he gotta go.
Wow. I think about it, she probably knew he can kill her because why would you leave this evidence? You left a journal.
That's what I'm saying. That's why.
So in a sense, it's like.
But we only getting this paper. We only getting this part that they read now. It could be more in that journal that we just ain't got yet.
But that's what I'm saying. She probably knew if something happens to me, I have to put it out on paper. So she had a party pretty much have a confessional for her to say if it did happen, this is why or something like that.
That's sad that these people gotta have this type of stuff behind them when you could
crazy.
just die in a relationship behind crazy people.
Wow.
So maybe somebody covering for Doug, or was he in cahoots? The workers at the law office were re-interviewed by the police again. They were like, can you just a bit more detail about who came in? Let's say if it wasn't Doug, who was it? How would you describe him in detail? And they said, yeah, a guy came in, looked like Doug. He had a hat on. His hood was up. He had shades on. He looked pretty cool. Was it this guy? Yeah, it could have been him. Police are pretty sure it wasn't Doug that came in. So who was it? They looked into Doug's phone records, and what they found was that he had been having quite a few heart-to-hearts with a phone located in Delaware. A phone owned by a guy named Ricky Spencer. Ricky was a kid in college living at home with his parents. Not a ruffian at all. So how did this link? What did he have to do with Doug? What was their relationship? Well, they thought they'd ask.
Fucking Grant! What the hell is with your voice? Your mom's voice! Sounds like you just deep-throated a cow. Yeah, I deep-throated your mom.
How do you know Doug Stewart?
Through Xbox Live.
Seemed that Doug still had his love of gaming, He'd crack on a few matches with the lad, and that's how Doug and Ricky met on Xbox lie. They had known each other for about 9 months, and they met in person, in fact, on the 1st of April 2010.
What?
Doug then began to, slowly but surely, introduce the idea to Ricky that Venus, his soon-to-be ex-wife, was dangerous. She was a danger to their children. She was a crazy person, and that he needed to save his kids.
So
he has somebody with him.
Not even that. You telling me you just meeting people off of Xbox Live and just immediately spilling your information to this person about your wife? Like,
that's usually how it happens. People find friends on Xbox Live and then they feel comfortable.
I know I used to game. I'm just saying, like, you feel that comfortable to tell people just come out flat out like my wife. Like, I don't know you.
Some people could just literally do that. And
he's just crazy.
That too.
And then if he is a part of it, you crazy for just meeting somebody to even be a part of this. Like, that's just wild. Beyond.
Now you accessory to the crime.
Ooh, this is a lot. Oh, this channel, I might have to take a couple days messing with y'all over here with this.
The courts had already denied him custody, he said. So, he needed to go above the law. And he needed someone to cover for him. We're about the same body size, right? Searching Ricky's phone history, it had mysteriously been off all of April 26th. Except for one moment when it pinged near Doug's apartment. They eventually cracked this kid without too much difficulty at all.
Free to leave anytime, okay? We just, we know you got some info that can help us out with something we're working on, all right?
Somebody was down there portraying themselves to be Doug, Doug during this time that he was up in Michigan.
Spill the beans.
Doug wanted somebody to be down there to pretend like he was him while he was up in Michigan, obviously to create an alibi. So there's kind of two types of scenarios that we're looking at here, and this is why we kind of need your help, okay, Ricky? I think it was more him, and you just kind of got caught up in something you realized after the fact, well, this is way over my head, I don't want any part of doing this anymore.
Wait, me helping him?
Right, I don't think you helped him in this.
I didn't do anything.
Did he tell you he was going to kill her before this happened, before you went down there? Did he ever tell you that? Or abduct her? Did he say anything about that?
He didn't take care of business up in Michigan.
Okay. When you got there, when you went there on the 25th, you knew he was going to head up there at that point to do whatever he was going to do, correct? And finish her off, how you put it?
If he was going to finish her off, or maybe he like decide, I can't do this, I'm just going to hide her away.
What did he say he was going to do when you met with him there on the 25th to get the phones and everything?
Get rid of her.
Okay. Did he say get rid of her? What's the exact terms he used?
Just like, I'm just going to get rid of her. Like, I'm mostly positive, that's what he said. Like,
and what did you take that to mean? That he was going to do what?
Probably finish her off.
And you didn't feel that was a red flag?
Man, I don't know if we just live in a sick world or people just influenced by dummies. Like, what in your mind? Oh, I'm gonna go get rid of her. Okay, cool, bruh. Like, what world do we live in that people's minds just letting this just go? Like, you just sat there and said, yeah, he probably just. I thought he's gonna come with a different story. Like, oh, I thought maybe he was gonna just like.
Yeah, like he's like, I didn't know what he meant.
Like,
you know,
bro, you just stood up and said, yeah, get rid of her. Like, you on board. That's why video games got a bad name. That's why my mom used to say you don't need to be playing them games.
I was gonna say because
it's
like
people like y'all that mess it up
it
for individuals like me that just trying to play some Call of Duty for fun, and y'all take Call of Duty to the streets. That's what's wrong, man. This is crazy. He was just influenced after 9 months. He might have been crazy himself. So we gotta. Like, I don't know, y'all. I don't know.
And that was it, really. Doug was arrested. Police believed she had been murdered. And Doug was charged with that murder.
Okay.
Now behind bars for nearly 48 hours, Doug Stewart arrested for the murder of his wife, Venus.
Venus disappeared nearly 2 months ago from her parents' Colon Township home.
He went on trial a year later.
Certainly, it's much easier to try a homicide case with a body. However, I believe that the investigation has given us enough to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he is in fact the person and that she is in fact deceased.
He pled not guilty. On the 25th of April, Doug walked into Walmart about 2 hours from where Venus lived and picked up a few bits and bobs, you know yourself. He also bought a disposable phone, which, because he bought using his credit card, was able to be traced. And it told a story that I think we all know. Finally, the fingerprint found on the packaging outside Venus's home it was Doug's. Ricky
Dang.
Spencer would take the stand.
How do you know Mr. Stewart?
I met him on Xbox Live, December of 08.
How often did you play Xbox Live with Mr. Stewart?
Anywhere from 6 to 10 hours.
A day?
Yeah, on a daily basis.
Would you say he was your best friend?
Yes. He called us brothers from another mother. Brothers from another mother?
Essentially, they would play together all the time. They would become best buds, for months and months and months, until they met up in person on the 1st of April. They went to Busch Gardens. Doug seduced Ricky with Budweiser. And he would tell Ricky, listen, my soon-to-be ex-wife, she's a real bitch. She abuses the kids. She's horrible. I need to save my children, brother.
And he was telling me that he was gonna go kill his wife.
When he was telling you this, what were you thinking?
Exactly.
I was just shocked. I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
Okay.
He could have killed you.
This is where I want you to come in, Ricky. I want you to be my alibi. Just pretend to be me and live in my apartment. And he jumped out and he said that there was a scream, she screamed once, and that he tried putting up a fight, but he was able to get in that headlock, and a drop of blood came from her nose, and that was it.
That makes it even worse because he described it in detail. I mean, he told him in detail about it. Like,
I just feel like he could have did better. He could have came forward. He could have said like, oh, he said he's gonna get rid of her, called the cops, and boom, like she could have been still alive, and you just took it as like,
it's
he
cool.
said, yeah, exactly, and I just
like he told you in detail what he did, like, and
because he wanted you to see that he liked it in a sense, like he wanted you to see like, look what I did. Like, for someone to come up to you and say, like, oh, I'm gonna kill her, you could have been his next victim. Like, he could have easily killed you, and you was, what?
It's like, what pushes people to the edge to, like, be able to even kill somebody? Especially, let alone your wife, ex-wife, but still was your wife at one point.
Like, my thing is, like, you're saying this. How did you feel when he told you this? Did you have some type of sympathy?
I don't think so. He probably he gonna plead the whole, like
like
scared,
I didn't know.
Or he was scared of him or something, didn't want to come forward. Like, it's always that.
I asked him if it was worth it, and he said it was, to protect his kids and give them some type of future. And he told me that he was gonna call me later.
Oh, this is on the phone
he was
call?
gonna go
Go what? To barrier.
He gave Ricky an itinerary for the day, so he would be him. And he told Ricky he would choke Venus using his military experience. Ricky used Doug's credit card to buy stuff so it would look like Doug was still in Newport. He wore Doug's clothes. He drove Doug's car.
He just as guilty.
Yeah.
The clerk will read the verdict.
I don't
just
care.
As guilty. I don't care. He just as guilty. He could have prevented it. He could have helped stop anything. You're just as guilty.
You emotional
so,
in there crying like you didn't get the whole spill.
To the crime. Yes, accessory to the crime.
You crying now, but he gave you the itinerary before it happened. You could have stopped it with the itinerary. Like, cop, this is what this man about to do. He gave me this, blah, blah, boom. Shut down, it's done with. But yeah, you roll with the flow, and now you caught. Now you want to be up there crying like you just so emotional about it. Like, you knew, bro, what was going down.
And now you're going to give these kids a bad future because now, not
Both
a bad
parents.
future, but you're not going to give them a great future because both parents are now gone. And for all we know, they probably didn't even like that because of what happened, the situation that happened. They probably were trying to get out with their mother.
Traumatized now.
Members of the jury find Douglas Harry Stewart as to count 1 guilty of first-degree premeditated murder.
Doug Stewart was sentenced to life in prison without parole, though he continued to protest his innocence. Ricky pled guilty to conspiracy to commit manslaughter and got a year due to his cooperation.
What? A year? Are you kidding me? That's horrible. Oh my
I don't care about cooperation.
A year?
I don't care nothing about no cooperation. Cooperation don't work in this.
I'm sorry. He should have got more time.
He knew. He had every sign. He knew what was going on. They know cooperation a year.
And you made sure he was able to do it by playing him.
Them daughters now.
You literally sat there and played his role so he can go do it.
Them daughters get to walk around knowing that this man was part of it. He get to walk free. Those daughters get to see this man walk free.
Exactly. Wow, you literally helped him do it.
They still had no Venus. Her family and friends continued to hunt for her remains in the woods surrounding Colon Township, searching through the lakes, trying to find anything that would lead them to her.
She's in a tarp,
and they found jack shit. At one point, Doug's parents, they began tearing down missing posters for Venus, as they believed their son innocent.
What? Why are you taking those down? Give them back to me. Give them back.
I wanted to tell you, we saw Doug. He's doing great.
Murdering?
He is better in his life.
Oh, in prison? It does good for him, huh?
He's really sorry about what's happening with the posters, and he hopes you find her.
Oh, that was good.
He did.
That's okay. So you're defending your son, which she has a right to. She has a right to feel that he's innocent. If that guy didn't literally just confess and say everything, are you even thinking of your grandchildren?
No. What they say? The apple don't fall far from the tree. The apple don't fall far.
He's having a great life in prison?
There you go.
He's in there for a life. It's not like he's getting out. He's in there for a life.
Lock his mama up too.
Oh my God. She probably knew. She probably helped him. She probably knew something too. Because ain't no way you are that calm and collective about your son who just murdered his wife, the mother of his children. And not only that, but I'm pretty sure she knew about the allegations that were put on him.
Lock her up too.
Wow.
Hope you find her. And you know what? He said you should actually be putting the pressure on Ricky if you want to find anything.
Here, they gotta take this one down yet.
They didn't think Venus was dead. They believed their son that she had run away. And they didn't think he was capable of killing her.
Okay.
In their opinion, if anything did happen to Venus, the person to talk to would be Ricky Spencer. You know, the kid who broke down on the stand.
Why don't you just give me those back? Why are you taking those posters down of Venus?
Why didn't you listen to the letter that was sent out?
What
if you
letter?
want to know more about this, you need to go talk to Ricky. Ricky's the one you need to talk to.
Mr. Stewart, please.
No, you put up all these nasty signs.
They're not nasty. We want to find Venus.
When you put up the signs
for your granddaughters.
When you put up the signs of the pictures of Venus, we left them up for months and months and months. Now you put up signs about murderous and stuff like that.
Mr. Stewart, Doug was convicted.
Hey, just go ahead, put them up. We'll
Mr.
take them
Stewart, Doug was convicted.
We did. We went down, we talked.
He was convicted.
What letter is he talking about?
We don't want to fight with you. We will not fight with you.
Yeah.
They crazy.
What letter?
Weeks would go by, years, pleading with Doug to tell him. Nothing, nada. He just was not interested.
But it's so thick right now.
That's true.
We could go over the graveside and not know it. So that's the problem we have also.
More and more time went by. Doug was constantly being asked. Wouldn't say anything. He would appeal until he had no more appeals left in him. In 2018, they went back to him one more time. The police asked him to tell them where she was buried. He said he would. But I got stuff I need. If I knew where she was.
Oh my gosh.
You got to be kidding me.
An Xbox. It's like coming full circle, all around, all an X.
Why do you think right here?
Is that it?
Because I put a bunch of fallen stumps right here in the tree. It's either there or there. Okay. 30 to 35 feet in from the edge. Stopped about maybe 50 feet from the edge, and I walked right in through here, and everything, there was so many stumps, tree, and debris. Like where she's standing, there was so much debris that this was the open spot. Of course, I'm always going to second guess myself because it's 8 years, but I'm about 90% right here.
I like how he just calmly sitting here telling them about like it's like we're at a.
My thing is, but you want an Xbox in prison? You're not gonna be able to play that, are you? I mean, I could be sounding dumb right now.
He
but
at the site, like he
at
at a museum or something. Like I could be wrong. Like, I buried my dog here. It could be here.
But it's like, come on.
You're talking about your whole ex-wife that's buried in the ground, bro. You sitting here just
why are you taking your time?
I'm 90%.
Just tell it already. You're
him?
going back to jail.
Do you hear him? 90% sure it could be right. Like he cool.
But how did he remember? Like I feel like I don't know.
You gonna remember something like that?
Yeah, that's true.
They need to bring back the lecture chair because these people getting out of hand.
Did you look back here when you come back? You see there's kind of a weird trail coming back here to begin with. There's kind of a partially broken trail. Yeah. And when I got back here, I was like, man, this is way too much. There's way too much rocks over there. There's no way. And then when I looked over here, there's so much foliage. There's no way. And right in between it was a random open spot.
He did, finally, 8 years after, take them to Venus. All for an Xbox. He told them that morning he drove up, parked outside, he called her, she came out, and he knocked her out, putting her in his car. He then drove to the woods, and when she woke up, he stabbed her to death. It was all for the kids. He then buried her out in the woods. Venus finally went home.
I couldn't handle it. It got to the point where I thought I was never going to see my children again.
They're not going to want to see you.
I was going to lose them. And I just couldn't see another way out.
I assume that you regret this.
Oh, more than you could ever know. This was single-handedly the worst thing that I could and will ever do in my entire life.
Well, you don't have another opportunity, brother.
There wasn't more than 1 second passed from the time in which I committed the crime that I did not regret it.
Our poor daughters.
A twisted plot plan, you know, that's spring up from video games. I mean, Ricky, come on, this is like basic shit. Probably you just want to, you know, be a bit more careful about who you talk to online.
Yeah.
It's like 101. To answer the question I posed at the beginning of the video, I think, well, we know the answer to what old Dougie Stew would do for an Xbox. Give a heartbroken family some closure for an Xbox. And he still demanded too high a price. As we wrap this one up, I think the main takeaway we can tell from this old one is that, you know, it's better just to yap away, continue verbally abusing each other when you're playing online video games. You know, talking about each other's mothers and so on and so forth. Because it's better to stay talking about that because
you can be caught in a
murder. It can get a lot worse.
It's even worse because now 8 years later is when I probably, well, the girls probably feel like they got closure 8 years later. And not even that, but having to see that on the TV, how does his parents look now? Saying that, oh, he's innocent, he didn't do that, or whatever the case is, you know? So now it's like all that time, you know, which they could have probably felt that their son was innocent, okay, whatever. But no, because Ricky confessed everything. And two, now, like I said, 8 years later, he tells you what he did, where the body is. And now what? Are you gonna go apologize to all those people that you went off on? Like you weren't thinking of your grandchildren, I feel, and it's like that is so sad.
But they're probably just like him. They don't care. They probably just like him. That's probably why he was the way he was.
Sad. Those poor girls. Not only did they have that trauma from what their dad supposedly did, and then probably she said the marriage was actually worse. So they probably
supposedly that man did do it.
No, I'm saying though, allegedly, like that's all that, you know. But I'm saying. Then them witnessing everything that they went through as a marriage, because she wrote in her journal that the marriage was really bad, abuse and all that. So then going from that, then going from their mother disappearing to their mother going to their dad going to jail to the mom being dead to now 8 years later, hey, dad's saying he did it and he's saying here's the body, and it's just like, oh my god, like those poor children, like it's sad, it's really sad, and I'm like, wow.
The fact that he really told for an Xbox though.
For an Xbox, the irony. It started, they separated in the first place because of an Xbox and just to go ask for an Xbox. I wonder if this
is like where parents started getting that thing of like, this case coming out, now that you hear the dates. I wonder if this is when parents start saying like, oh, the game's influenced, like, his character, like his actions showing like, oh, my kids can't do it, or like, this was a grown man playing this though, like,
I don't think the game had anything to do with it.
No, but I'm saying that, but parents, they think that, oh, you're online with these type of people, like,
oh, yeah.
Like, but I'm saying, this is a grown man who, like, I don't know. I just feel like something trauma in his brain because He's addicted to the Xbox. He asked for an Xbox to say where her body was. So there's something up here, like in his childhood.
Well, but he probably ain't got nothing else to do in jail. He felt like, let me ask.
But he was doing this before. I'm saying though, he was doing this before he killed her. That's why they broke. Like that's why she left. She said he was gaming nonstop.
Yeah.
So I'm saying there had to be.
He didn't have a job. What else he gonna do?
I'm saying there had to be something in his childhood. I'm going off of trauma in his childhood.
Yeah.
Like there had to be something in his upbringing. Obviously,
or maybe it could have just been him.
No, man, you don't see his parents. His parents is weirdos. They're snatching shit off the thing that just says missing, help find. Like, his parents was weirdos.
That's crazy. I don't know.
This
was
crazy.
I think once again, it gave it away when the tarp stuff, the receipt was there on the floor, or not the receipt, the packaging. I feel like the first one was the packaging. The second one was the calmness in the 911 call. The calmness. I think that's what gave it away for me. That knew that he was guilty.
I just think it's crazy that this man got a whole person on Xbox Live to help commit the crime.
Yeah, and he only got 1 year. Like, what? You pretty much like helped him kill her. Like, that's mind blowing. But let us know what you guys thought about this video. What gave it away for y'all? What did you guys think the verdict was?
Did you guys watch this case live? Some of you guys probably have. Let us know. That's wild. That's crazy.
That's true. Until next time, guys.